didn't think it can get worse than this, right? Well,
by saying, Progressives Congress, Felix Morka. National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressives Congress, Felix Morka, is right here with me in the studio for more on this conversation. Thank you so much for joining us, and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
So they say you are the one threatening Peter Obi's life. But let me read a comment here for you. And this is what the media is talking about. You were quoted to have said that he's a prophet of doom, and that he has crossed the line so many times and has it coming to him whatever he gets. What does that mean?
Now, I think this is the problem. When you read a portion of a whole answer to a question without...
More than 100,000 Americans have beaten diabetes thanks to a simple home method presented by Dr.
You can decide what you want to decide. But, that answer was much longer than what you just read. It was a question that was put to me by the Arise Television during the studio interview. And, since you read the portion, let me read the question that was put to me so that our viewers can get the context in which this conversation took place. Arise TV, you have actually hit back with a volley of attacks, calling Peter Obi a prophet of doom. Some of you have said that he was backing on voodoo economics that are not in line with current realities. Don't you think this is a slingshot that has gone beyond normal politicking? And then I gave a long answer, which this portion that you read didn't capture. Because when you read the entire thing, what I did say was in reference to the interviewer's question and reference to Peter Obi as the prophet of doom or as a voodoo economist. And I said that, Peter Obi had crossed so many lines of truth. And that if, anyone called him a prophet of doom, he has that coming. If anyone called him, a voodoo economist, he had it coming because, in the show, in the earlier questions, I had laid out the premise on which I made those remarks. For example, I had made clear that during the campaign, during the 2023 presidential elections, Peter Obi had said, as a campaign promise, that he would remove the system of fuel subsidy. He did. On day one, he said that. Everyone knows that, he said that. Now, the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, on day one, announced the removal of fuel subsidy. But since then, Peter Obi has not rested in lambasting this government for removing the same fuel subsidy he promised Nigerians he would remove. Now, of truth. So, that was the context. So, everything I said about crossing the line was in reference to a specific question about, naming him or calling him or referring to him as a prophet of doom.
We're also going to look at what crossing the line means, specifically as regards his New Year message, because that appears to be the bone of contention here. But is there a sense to which you are concerned that Peter Obi says that message has now led to threats against his life, his family, and those around him?
No, see, that's exactly, I think, the point that concerns me. Because, there's nothing in the answer to the question I just referred to that suggested or suggests or that is capable of suggesting a threat in any way to Peter Obi or his family or his associates or his business. Nothing in that sentence. Because, people are just being entirely manipulative by saying, you cross the line, whatever. It was in reference to a question.
No, are you saying it's lying that there's actually no threat against his life? Is that what you're saying?
Yesterday, I did issue in response to Peter Obi's allegation. Because, he went on his X handle and alleged, plain, and clear, that Felix Morka threatened his life by those comments. I did not threaten Peter Obi's life. I couldn't have threatened P2B's life because, my comments were plain and simple in English language, in direct and specific reference to a question that was put to me. And I explained that in that interview.
Let us assume. Let us assume that he actually got some threat, and it perhaps come from a misunderstanding of what you said. Are you willing to? Because I heard the former president, former vice president Atiku saying that the APC must issue a formal apology to Peter Obi, and what we are also hearing now is that the Peter Obi camp is also warning that any attempt to harm him would have severe consequences. I'm wondering if that bothers you, and if you're able to, bring some clarity to the issue of threat and say perhaps what I said was misunderstood. How do you react to the essence that there is a possibility that there are some threats against his life?
Peter Obi has not disclosed the source of the threat against him, if there is any, right? What I do know is that in his ex-handle, he stated and claimed that my statement that we're discussing constituted a threat to his life and that of his family and that of his associates. Now, the point I'm making here, which I need to make very clearly, is that I said nothing in that interview or anywhere else, anything that was capable of being understood as constituting a threat to Peter Obi. I didn't. So, having said that, now, Peter Obi, what shocked me, quite frankly, let me say this. After the interview, I began to see, a few traffic tweets where some of his followers were suggesting that, Peter Obi was threatened. Nothing of it. I simply just waved it. Until later that evening, Peter Obi tweeted out that, my words in that interview, threatened him. He didn't say somebody threatened him because of what I said. He said, that my words constituted a threat to his life. And that's what I need Mr. Obi to explain. Because, you can't make such a heinous allegation against any human being without supplying the facts and the detail. Now, I have, so far, yesterday I laid out a statement where I clarified what I said in relation to the question that was asked to me. What I said about, Peter Obi, has what is coming to him, was meaning if Peter Obi was called a prophet of doom or was called a good economist, I have supplied the facts, the basis for that conclusion. I said, whatever name he's called, he could manage it. So, but how does that begin? In a normal political conversation, begin then to rise to the level of threatening the...
Find the lowest priced health plans at healthforcalifornia.com. Get a quote in 30
the life of a human being. Since Peter Obi made that allegation against me, many of his followers, as I stated elsewhere this morning, I have received over 400 threats of different shades. But of those 400, more than 200 of them were specific direct death threats to me by people who self-describe as his followers, who feel or are saying...
Now, Mr. Moka, that's the point. That is the exact point you're making, because you two are now saying that you have received threats, about 200 death threats. Is it possible that your own followers, or the followers of the APC, based on the interaction and the reactions we've gotten from you as regards this New Year message, have also sent similar threats to him?
See, look, if anyone did that, why would I be the one? I don't know. That's not information within my knowledge. Peter Obi is the one who has to, because in his ex, he never said that. He simply said, Felix Moka threatened my life. He didn't say somebody threatened my life who heard or read what Moka said. And my point to you is that nothing I said was capable or, would have given anyone a reason to threaten Mr. Obi. That is absolutely ridiculous. There's nothing in my, it was a question and answer. I'm talking to you right now. I was asked a question, which was, you guys called, the APC is called Peter Obi, prophet of doom, this and that. And I said, I am not the one to go on that manner, and offensive in that manner. I'm not the one to go on an offensive in that manner. Meaning, I'm not the one to call anybody, by that kind of name.
We'll
right?
get back.
But whatever name he's been called,
yes,
it fits him because, he has crossed the line of truth on many occasions.
We'll get back to that shortly, but some have said that the former Anambra State governor must still hold lots of political relevance, even after his defeat in 2023, to deserve such robust and what appears a comprehensive response from the ruling party following his New Year message. Do you think your initial response may have given some validation to that?
No. Now, if I may, on the 2nd of January, I issued a full, total response to Mr. Obi's New Year remarks. It wasn't an interview. It was a statement that I signed. And, when you read the statement was not so much about Peter Obi. It was more about pointing out those markers of progress under the administration. Simply saying, look, it's not all bad news. It's not all, gloom and doom as his message portrayed Nigeria. I said, look, Nigerians, I'm sure, are, seeing signs that the economic policies of this government are beginning to bear fruits. That was the tenor of my response to Peter Obi. This was an interview, like I'm doing with you. That was, an interview. And a question was asked, and I answered it. Otherwise, the ruling party offered Mr. Obi a comprehensive, well thought out, statement, which I'm sure you have seen or even reported.
Hold that thought, Mr. Moka. Let's go on a short break. When we return, we'll take a look at some of the content of Mr. Obi's New Year message and how it differs from the position of the APC. Stay with us, everyone.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty, erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Listen, if you've been in a car accident, don't call an attorney. Use this AI app instead. That's what I did, and that's how I got.
Story is with many perspectives and layered with different levels of impact.
Honey, what time did this happen?
Program, everyone. Felix Moka, National Publicity Secretary of the APC, is right here with me in the studio. Mr. Moka, thanks for staying the course.
Thank you.
On the program. But before we get into this conversation, I wanted to respond specifically to the former vice president who's asking for a formal apology. How do you respond to it?
No, again, I said elsewhere this morning that the former vice president clearly did not read the transcript or transcription of that interview, or did not listen to the clip itself. So I'm willing to grant him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't before he signed or caused that statement to be issued. Because if he did, I would be grossly disappointed in the former vice president for saying the things he said. Because, he suggests that, a threat was indeed made to Peter Obi, which I insist that anyone who has any elementary basic understanding of English language will not come to that conclusion based on the question and the answer that was provided. Anyone who sees or listens or hears a threat in that thing clearly, intends to see a threat, not because there's a threat.
There is more to what he said, and I'm quoting him now. He says, quote, a true democracy thrives on the healthy exchange of ideas, where the criticisms and contribution of opposition leaders like Peter Obi are seen as vital for the betterment of governance and promotion of public accountability, end quote. He's trying to say that perhaps his administration has been stifling the voice of opposition.
How so? See, look, I think there's something we need to clarify. We have a constitution that has a Bill of Rights. Every single right contained in the Bill of Rights of the Nigerian Constitution is not only available to Peter Obi or to Atiku Abubakar. It is available to every Nigerian, including myself, including you. I think it's somewhat of, some suggestion of tyranny on the part of, Atiku Abubakar or Peter Obi for that matter, to suggest that when the government puts out, record or information, they reserve the constitutional right to critique government's information or government's position. But when they put out information, the ruling part of the government, for that matter, does not have the right to also offer, review or critique of their own position. That is just hypocritical. I mean, how can you do that? Everyone who is in the political space, Mr. President, is the first citizen of this country. But when he speaks or he makes a policy, they all take it apart. They take it apart sometimes in a very crude, way. But when you attempt,
if you were involved in a car accident, you were not at fault, listen to this. Insurance companies don't want you to know.
To offer a dissenting view to their own view, they claim that the government is stifling their opinion. That is, I think, undemocratic. And I think that that's what we need to be discussing.
Now, getting back to your position on crossing the line of truth, there are a few indices upon which Mr. Obi's New Year's message was built on. First of which is that it claims that Nigeria remains one of the poverty capitals of the world. Over 100 million people in extreme poverty, 150 million in multidimensional poverty, and that the situation has deteriorated significantly in the past 18 months. He also did mention that we have now fallen from having the highest GDP some 10 years ago to ranking number 4, and our GDP now has fallen less than 50% of what it was in 2014, same as our capital, which is less than a third. Do you disagree with him based on the subject, based on the content of the subject and these examples that he's made?
No, you see, facts are facts. When you say that, X number of people are living in multidimensional poverty in Nigeria, you can say that. But the question that I would ask, because you say that, you don't just say that objectively, you're saying that in relation to the government of the day. You're saying, this government is basically exacerbating poverty. Because today, X number, so many millions of people are living in multidimensional poverty. But the question that I think is relevant for Nigerians to consider is how many people in multidimensional poverty, before this president was inaugurated? That's a relevant question. And I'm not saying what he said or what anybody is saying. I'm not disputing or joining issues with anybody. But what was the number of Nigerians who were living in poverty or in multidimensional poverty before this president was inaugurated? What was the number of those living in multidimensional poverty before, Buhari, who was an Apc president, was inaugurated in 2015? Now, let me say this clearly, and the figures are out there. As of 2014, 2015, more than 47% of Nigerians were living in multidimensional poverty. What is 47% of Nigerians in terms of the numbers of our population? What does it translate to in terms of numbers? Work it out. The point I'm making is that the poverty Mr. B is referring to did not begin with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It didn't. It didn't even begin with Buhari. You see, when you talk about multidimensional poverty in economics, it is not measured on a monthly, yearly basis. It's not. The discussion of wealth and poverty, quality of life of citizens, is measured usually in economics over a 10-year period. Because
which is exactly what is done. Because if you take the per capita income, for instance, it dropped from $3,500 to $3,500 to $1,000. The question is, do you think the life of the average Nigerian is better 18 months after?
Okay, there's a twin part of your question.
What's one?
The first part of your question is the drop, right? Don't forget, did exactly what Peter B promised to do by unifying the foreign exchange system. So if Naira was 460 to $1 when this president took power, today that system was unified, and as a result, Naira lost value and now goes to $1,500 to $1. What does that mean? That means that if I was, rich by, $1,000 back then, I was, I had 460,000 naira. But today, the naira value of the naira has depreciated because of this intentional policy that was meant to save the naira in the long term. So P2B is being, just a bit, smart by simply quoting statistics that are not justified in the circumstances. My point is that the policy of the government, which P2B himself he was going to implement, is what this government is implementing, and as a result, naira has taken a hit. But that is not, the position a statesman like P2B, he should acknowledge that this is happening as a result of this policy that's meant to strengthen the naira in the long term. So it's a false statistic, which is why I say that he is crossing the line of truth. He ought to know better. That, because the P2B is unaware that as a result of this policy, naira lost value, and that you can't, when you say per capita income, somebody who was earning $2,000 by 460 to a naira cannot earn $2,000 by 1,500 to a dollar. That is it's simple economics.
We have run out of
just
time.
being disingenuous,
We have completely run out of time. We probably will have this conversation subsequently. But are you committed to dousing what appears the political tension?
Okay, let me say that.
Considering all these threats that are flying around.
No, see, look, I don't think dousing the tension is really my say. I am the one who has been libeled in the extreme. P2B has put out front page news everywhere that Moka threatened his life. And you know what? I have a reputation and I care about my reputation. So I intend to have P2B prove and demonstrate how indeed I threatened his life, because I did it.
Felix Moka is the National Publicity Secretary of the APC. Thank you so much for
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's our show today, everyone. Thanks for being a part of it. You can watch it all over again at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi.
Worse than this, right? Well, it just did.
Welcome to the program. In 2009, African leaders, scholars, and academics met to discuss the state of education on the continent. Rising from that meeting, they passed a unanimous resolution requiring national governments and subnationals to commit 3% of GDP to education. This audacious resolution became what is known as the Declaration. 16 years down the line, it is doubtful much of the goals and objectives of that declaration have been achieved. Neglect by successive governments, unresolved industrial crisis, research deficit, and poor funding have hampered progress in the sector in Nigeria. Under the President Bola Tinubu administration, a number of reforms have been announced, all aimed at reviving the educational system. But is there the political will to drive these reforms? For more insight, I am joined in the studio by Professor Suwaibat Saidu, the Honorable Minister of State for Education. Wonderful to have you, Madam.
Thank you. Same here.
And Happy New Year.
Same to you.
So education, you've been in the education sector all your life. And the problems, as you know, are deep and long-standing. How do you think that you're suited to make a remarkable dent during your period? It's a short time, in the ministry.
Well, for me, as number one, as an educationist, I started work as a university lecturer, as a graduate assistant. For the past 20 years, I've been working as a teacher. I can say that I'm quite familiar with the education sector. I worked as a lecturer. At the same time, I'm a development worker. I have worked as a consultant with different partners, which generally most of the work that I do has to do with primary education, secondary education. This I have looked at both in urban location, rural location. So I can say that I have a clear understanding of the education sector across all the levels. That is primary school level, secondary school level, and university level. And I rose through the rank from graduate assistant also up to a professor in education, specifically science education.
Okay, so you have a rich background in that sector. We can see from that. Question would be, which a lot of people would like to know: do your children attend public school in Nigeria at any level?
All my children are in Nigeria. Though I can say that for us as university kids, we go through staff primary school, staff secondary school. That's the line of schooling that we go through. My son now, my daughter graduated from Bayero University, Kano, just last year, waiting for her service. I have a son right now as a level 3 student also in a public university. So for me, for my family, for my children, we have gone through the public system, all of us. I did my university at Bayero University, Kano, and Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, which are all public schooling.
I'm sure you know why I'm asking that question. There is that general sentiment that perhaps public officials should be encouraged or compelled to have their children attend public schools so that they may be interested in the welfare of public schools so it gets better. Do you agree with this sentiment or impression?
Is a sentiment, but for
suggestion
me,
too. It has been suggested as well.
It's a suggestion, but for me, I would like to see a system like currently what we are doing. What we are doing under the Renewed Hope agenda, under Education Renewed Hope, we have key priority areas that we are focusing. We are trying to come up with reformations that are long-lasting. Most of the time, there are different governments. Most of these interventions are not actually leaving lasting solution to the problem. But from an insider now, understands this reformation change to make all these changes, I can say that what we are working for now, what we are working on based on the renewed agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration, if fully implemented, will actually lead to a lasting solution to the different problems we have in the education sector.
Okay, so give us an example of one of those that will make a major dent.
We have about 6 key priority areas. Each of these key priority areas have different arms in terms of, as I said, we are looking for lasting solution. So it's not just to identify one thing to do, rather let's look at it holistically, different areas. For instance, one of the key issues we have is out-of-school children. What do we have on the ground to solve the issue of out-of-school children? We have different reforms that we are targeting to ensure that we enroll these children back to school. Let's take, for instance, there are solutions, but let's take the Almajiri Commission that we have, Almajiri Commission and out-of-school children. This commission has programs, and these programs they have are lasting programs. Apart from that, under the Almajiri education, because issue around out-of-school children, we have about 50 million out-of-school children with different data, but it depends on the data you are looking at. But basically, let's say 50 million out-of-school children that we have. This 50 million include Almajiri, but as we all are aware, everybody living in Nigeria knows that Almajiri have a system of education.
Right.
They have their own curriculum, they have their teachers, they have a system that they are using in educating this Almajiri. So the definition itself, we want to go back and redefine what do we mean by out-of-school children, because Almajiri are not part of that program. But then at the same time, for us to ensure that we help this Almajiri to fit into the general system that we have of education, let's go back and see about providing them with foundational learning, basic literacy, basic numeracy, even some aspect of digital training, and also skill acquisition program.
Because when you say that they have their own system of education, the question will be, how useful is that education for today's world?
Yes, and that's why we are coming up with this reformation. Let's give them skill training. If you are attending an Almajiri school, be the foundational learning. Literacy, numeracy, skill, and digital training. When I say literacy, numeracy, have the ability to read and write, do basic arithmetics, be able to operate simple digital tools, your phones, mobile phones, do all those, a lot of opportunities are out there. And then you'll be equipped with a skill. That skill is meant to help you live a sustainable future. when you have a skill that you can actually be able to make use of to empower yourself and even your family, then you are being mainstreamed into the general system. So we have that plan on the ground.
Before you even come to the Almajiri system and the out-of-school children, I mean, in most parts of the world, education is regarded as a basic right, that is a fundamental right that every child should have. And so it's also used to measure the growth and development of every country. So why do you think it's difficult to make primary and secondary education compulsory and free in Nigeria? What is so difficult in achieving that?
It's compulsory is also free. Most of states have made that declaration that basic education is compulsory and free.
But in most states, it's not free.
It depends. You know, we have the national and we have at subnational level. And I'm sure that there is a bill now in the assembly trying to pass this so that it can ensure that all the states have that also. But at the same time, let's have quality, inclusive education. It's also very important. And we have programs, reforms that are targeting that also.
So if the education you say is free, why do we have so many children still out of school? Because there's also that discussion about parents being unable to have the funds, or poor parents to buy books, to buy the basic that they need to send their children to school.
We have, as I'm saying, there are different factors. We have social factors, we have economic factors. Some parents may have all the necessary things they have to send their children to the school, but because of a perception, they don't do that. They don't send the children to the school. Some parents can afford to buy the basic necessities, basic amenities for the school for the children, but they also choose not to. So these are different factors that are coming into place. And that is why I said part of the reform agenda, renewed hope agenda that we have under this administration, is to provide a lasting solution, a more holistic solution to the problem. So we are not only looking at the problems we have, out of school children, 45 million children are considered learning poor, and all other factors, but we are looking at each of this. How do we provide a lasting solution to that? Issues around advocacy, issues around modeling the schools. As I started, we have different programs. We have conditional cash transfer for children that are out of schools. We have also for vision to ensure that how do we get these children back to school. We have TVET training, and it's also targeting out of school children. That is technical vocational education and training. For this TVET training, we are putting a lot of money into that. We have vocational training, skill training institutions, both federal and states, both private and government owned, that we are going to open up for the public. People that are out of school, adults that are out of school, adolescents that are out of school can come into these centers. So they will be trained, they will be given stipend to ensure that they continue doing the training. We give them skill, and then we'll even give them a startup pack so that they can actually, whatever skill they learn, they have a startup pack for them to actually.
So can you give us a number of people that you have already impacted with a couple of the programs or the reforms?
For the TVET, we are rolling it out this
for the what?
TVET, technical vocational education and training. And it's in 3 arms. That is, the skill acquisition is 6 months. And then the vocational is 1 year. And then we have our federal technical colleges that are also going to roll out this program from JSS1, JSS2, up to SS, technical programs. We are also going to give them the skills. And when we are talking about these skills, we're talking about not paper and pencil or coming to the class and just talking, rather practical skill where we are going to employ, come and sit down and do this. Already the mapping for the different skills have been done. So for that particular, we are rolling it out in this 2025.
And this is across all regions?
Across all the regions.
How do people access them? Because they need the information.
The program will roll out. People will be aware of this because we are, as I mentioned earlier, we are going to make use of both private. In the private, you are not paying. It's completely free. The government will pay the private institutions that are rolling these programs. We will pay them to enroll. If you are enrolling 50 students, we have per head, how much are we paying you? We give you the number based on the number of students you have. We pay their tuition for them. And then we give them stipends as transportation allowance so that they will be able to come. And that money can still go back to support their family, because probably most of the students that are coming in are students that are coming from maybe probably a poor background. So that will also assist them. And as I mentioned, We are also going to give them a starter pack at the end of the program. But we need completion. We are going to put a mechanism of ensuring attendance and completion of these programs once they enroll into the programs.
Okay, let's look at one of the recent reports that was in the papers. It was said that the president has mandated the reintroduction history in basic education. Where are we on that? Has it taken off already, or there are still plans? What's going on with that?
It's also going to be rolled out. Any such pronouncement, we would try to see how do we make sure that there is effective implementation of that. So we're in the process of doing that. But as I was saying, there are other programs. History is ongoing.
Can you give us a date, or is this within 6 months or 1 year?
It's something that we are planning. We are yet to fix specific timelines. But as you are aware, we are starting a new session now. I can't pin down specifically when we are starting, but we are planning. People are working around to ensure that we do the proper planning and the implementation also effectively. We don't want to start something that is not effectively implemented. So once we have finalized the arrangement, we'll notify the public on when that is commencing.
Also connected to that is the student loan. It's a brainchild of this administration. Where are we on that? We understand that at least 100,000 students have applied for the loans.
And a lot have been given. I consider it's one of the good reformation administration. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was very thoughtful in terms of supporting youths to ensure they get the education. Because you can ask the universities, you discover that enrollment has increased across all universities because of this initiative. I can cite example of where I work by University Kano, where without this student loan, a lot of students are dropping and a lot of students are declining the admission. But with this new initiative, people are just coming and enrolling. So it has increased the enrollment at the university. As I'm speaking now, 133 institutions benefited from this student loan. About 129,000 students are beneficiaries of this. And we have still additional number of students that are applying. For now, we have about 133 institutions that have actually benefited from this
so government loan. Institutions, the ones run
government, by, yes, government institutions.
Right. In Nigeria, there seems to be a deepening divide and inequality between the haves and have-nots. This is partly fueled by lack of access to education. In those days, we used to have the federal government colleges, which used to be an equalizer. Whether you come from a rich home or you come from a poor home, today we're building societies that are exclusive to the rich and exclusive. Have you thought about how this can be reversed? Because it's not a good thing for society.
This student loan is even an opportunity for people that normally, as you are aware, even people that you cannot even consider that with the current situation in the country, education at higher level is becoming more difficult for those that have that we can refer to them as low-income family. If you have 5 children all going to the university, who do you support to go to the university? But then with this student loan, it's also giving you access to that, because up to date, we know that our government-owned institutions are excellent. Our students compete everywhere. Go to even the developed countries.
They are excellent? The federal government colleges or
I'm referring to the
institutions?
Excellent? Of course.
How?
Well, I don't know. But
they face a lot of crisis. You don't want us to begin
crisis, yes. But if you look at those people that are going abroad to work, you discover that they are doing very well for their masters, are doing excellent.
There's poor infrastructure, there's low wages for teachers, they're on strike all the time. How does that, it's low research, how does that produce excellent education?
So our students, anywhere you go, graduates from Nigerian Public University are still doing very well. We are all, as I said, I'm also a graduate of public university. We have a lot of people that are graduate of the public university, and they are doing very well. And they compete everywhere they go. Of course, there is room for improvement, because, of course, anywhere you go, there are challenges. Anywhere you go, even in the so-called developed countries, they have their own challenges.
But you would agree that tertiary education today in Nigeria is not at the level that it should be.
And we are working assiduously to ensure that we are there. We have different factors. As I said, we are looking to see how do we approach the education sector in totality.
So because, for instance, poor wages, that's one of the reasons why you don't have younger people wanting to be teachers or wanting to join the educational sector. There has to be other innovative ways to fund government tertiary institutions, because part of the problem is lack of funding. What are you doing in that regard?
Our plans is to support the institutions to utilize the alumni. Let them understand the role that alumni can play in terms of sourcing for funding. If you take recognized institutions like Oxford, Harvard, you will see that they have a very strong alumni body that are actually funding those institutions adequately. So we are looking at also mobilizing the alumni in the different institutions that we have to actually come in to see how did you support that. But apart from that also, we have funding for research. As you are aware, we have NRF, National Research Funds. For this, I think about 7 billion has been earmarked to fund different researches. And TED Fund is also building incubation centers across, I think, in each geopolitical zones. This is from research to market. All this, by the time it's fully implemented, universities are able to do their researches, and the researches are not lying in, but those researches are fully actualized in such a way that they manifest into a product that they can sell. It's also going to bring in additional funding for the universities, for the institutions. So what we are seeing is we are going to give additional funding for research. Apart from the additional funding for the research, with this NEL fund, with more students coming into the institutions, IGR is also going to be improved. And then government at the same time is also looking to see how do we give more, empower these universities to have more funding so that they can be able to carry out their...
Yeah, so this doesn't really touch the wages, because, and it all sounds vague, government would empower teachers for funding. People want to know the specifics, within a couple of years. This is specifically how we think we can generate more revenue, whether the universities themselves or the federal government. You understand what I'm saying? When you talk about the alumni, yes, some might want to be involved. Not everybody wants to be involved. So it doesn't sound concrete.
But it's very concrete. Review the institutions in developed countries, recognized institutions. Alumni form actually a huge percentage of funding that goes into these institutions.
So, but here in Nigeria, what is the structure and the framework that has been put together to drive this?
As I said, we are coming in new. You are aware we are coming in new. We are working on that. And at the same time, issues around wages that you're talking about, that right now we are in discussion. We have a committee working together with the unions around issues to do with all their grievances, which part of the grievances is the wages, the salaries. All these are under review. We have a very powerful committee under Yayele Ahmed, and we know the caliber of person he is, and he's working together with this union and his committee to actually provide a lasting solution to that, issues around welfare and the rest.
One of the factors contributing to the fall in education is low university capacity in Nigeria. This admission crisis is one of our problems. Let's use one of the data provided by JAMB on its website. So, for instance, in 2015, it says out of 415,000, students were only able to get 415,500 admissions out of over 1 million people that applied. But this also tells us probably that not everybody should be applying for University of Education, but maybe not everybody needs to be at the university. Maybe they can be channeled to other forms of education. So Nigeria's education system today leaves, a lot of people, millions, that cannot gain admission into university. What are you doing about this?
Let me start. You quote a 2015 data. I would love to have you quote a 2024
okay,
data.
share with us.
But what I can say now,
yes.
What I can say, initially we start talking about the TVET. The TVET is just this. Realizing that there are a lot of opportunities. We focus so much on certification, but then there are a lot of opportunities that people have. And that is why we are focusing on TVET. As we are talking now, I can tell you that a bricklayer, a qualified bricklayer, probably earns more money than a teacher because of the skill he has. He has a lot of opportunities. He earns a lot of money. We have plumbers that are earning a lot of money. But because of the perception of the general populace, people run away from these skills, from this vocation, because of the perception that they are, it doesn't have prestige. And therefore, people run away from these skills, from this vocation. But there are excellent ways of earning money. And that is why we are trying to give individual opportunities. Learn this skill. By the time you are skilled in this, you have, your job is there for you. It's a skill that is in demand. For instance, part of the TVET
what can
program,
people go to?
As I said, this is a program we are rolling out in 2025. We are going to give these opportunities in the 36 state plus FCT. We have done the mapping for these STIs and VEIs, where you can go and learn this. Is it a 6-month program you want to go for, depending on the kind of skill you want to learn? Is it a 1-year program, which is the VEIs that you want to learn? We have all those programs already mapped. We are working on that. We have a timeline. It's going to come out. VEIs, the STIs, we are hoping to start in April. And we are going to do a lot of media advocacy. We are going to do a lot of sensitization so that people are aware of this program starting. And then apart from that also, even for our graduates, there are a lot of online jobs available. So this TVET training and skill training goes together with digitization, where there are a lot of digital training that we are going to do for our graduates. Graduates have completed their university can key into this training. We have AI and machine learning, programming, different digital skills that you can learn. There is a huge market for that.
Okay, we have to also talk about unavailability of qualified teachers, as well as continued teacher education and training during the period. It's a crisis also. What are you doing?
It's part of just rewind a bit and talk about the 6 key priority areas that we have. We have the out-of-school children, we have the TVET, we have the education, we have data and digitization, and we also have girls' education. So these are our priority area. I have already talked about out-of-school children. I have talked about TVET. Now let's talk about quality education. We have, for quality education, if we're talking about quality education, there are different indices for quality education. So we have programs that we are going to roll out. Part of this training, when you're talking about quality education, is it has to do with complete teacher training. We are going to look at teacher training at different levels. Those that are pre-service, those that are in service. Those that are in service, we are going to have continuous professional development training, and we are going to take into account new methods of teaching. We know, as we are aware, we are talking, there are different new methods of teaching, gamification, AI, Cocomelon approach. There are different approaches that are out there now that actually engage the learner and result in more lifelong learning.
When we talk about all this AI and all these big names, there are so many people that don't even have the basic primary and secondary education.
For those that are in service, we're talking about teachers now,
right?
So we're talking about for those that are in service already. These are trained teachers. What we want to do is to retrain them in these new approaches and also give them the digital tool. So it's not about just giving them the pedagogical content knowledge, but we want to also give them digital knowledge to meet the 21st century challenge. And then we have the pre-service, those that are in colleges of education. We are also reviewing the curriculum. Right now, the NCE curriculum is under review, and we are reviewing them to include different aspects, different happenings, different factors that are resulting in this low quality education. So we are actually reviewing the curriculum to ensure that pre-service teachers are adequately trained in such a way that they become more competent and effective teachers while in school.
Finally, before we go, there was that uproar about admission into university, the age, when I was going to be 16 or 18. Where are we on that?
We have a national policy on education that specified entry age into university, but it's not exclusive. Is recommended age that you enroll your children. As we are all aware, there are other factors you need to consider. There are those that are above average, there are those that are gifted. So for us, the 16 years just like we have, is also something that is in practice, systemic entry into the university, and we still operating that entry age.
Professor Suwaiba Saidu, thank you so much for coming on Arise Prime Time.
Nice, thank you for having
me. Wow. Nigerians, brace up. Is this not the same people that Jonathan tried to help by, building schools so that they can get... Oh my goodness. Oh. Hey.
The political crisis in Edo State's local government areas intensified last week as two chairmen were reportedly impeached by their elected councillors in Uhunode and Orionwo local government areas. This development has drawn reactions from stakeholders in the state and various groups, frowning at the current intimidation of 18 local government council chairmen and their vice chairman by the state governor, Senator Monday Okwebolo, and the House of Assembly through the use of councillors to impeach them without following due process. The council chairman, Marvelous Zibiri, was among the 18 local government chairmen who received a reprieve from a high court ruling that mandated no obstacles should impede the suspended chairmen from resuming their roles. Last week, despite a court order, thugs took laws into their own hands and took over control of the Esako West Council Secretariat, Auchi, leaving council stranded and unable to gain entry into the secretariat. Joining us on the show to discuss the crisis at the state local government, the impeachment and suspension of the local government chairman is Honorable Marvelous Zibiri, chairman of Esako West local government area. Good morning, Honorable, and welcome to the morning show.
Find the lowest priced health plans at healthforcalifornia.com. Get a quote in 30 seconds.
Good morning. Well, Honorable Marvelous Zibiri. Yeah, the Supreme Court has ruled that, local councils have financial autonomy and that state governors cannot act as headmasters over local councils. But we hear that some marvelous things are happening in Esako West, where you are chairman, and other local councils in Edo State, in terms of the governor saying, look, local government chairman should report to the state governor. Please, can you tell us about some of those marvelous things going on in your state with local council administration, particularly with local council chairman going to court, and councillors who are supposed to be members of the legislative assembly of the local councils turning against chairman? I don't know where you are now. Are you one of the impeached ones? Are you in your local government headquarters, or you are in hiding, from the intimidation from the state government? Just tell us those marvelous things that you have been going through.
Well, good morning, everybody, and I thank you for having me. My name is Honorable Marvelous Muizu Zibiri. By the special grace of God and in the eyes of the law, I am the Executive Chairman of Esako West Local Government Council. You talked about Supreme Court pronouncement with particular regard to autonomy and the rest of them. Yes, it is true. Sometime around July, a pronouncement was made by the Supreme Court granting autonomy for all the 774 local government councils, and all of us took to the street and celebrated that pronouncement. We celebrated it, believing that it will have a long way, strengthening governance at the local government council, and we know that if that happens actually and put into practical work, definitely there will be massive development at the local government councils. So we celebrated it, and we equally celebrated Mr. President for pursuing that thing vigorously, and at the end of the day, it came true, you know. And for some of us who are in PDP, we said no. For this that Mr. President has done, I think he deserves our support and he deserves our loyalty and whatever. And that some of us can even jettison loyalty to our party to support him in his political future endeavor. But unfortunately, reverse is the case. What we celebrated as autonomy from the Supreme Court pronouncement is something that is turning something else now, which I cannot immediately also elaborate or speak about in an elaborate form. So that's the situation we are finding ourselves. You talked about the councillor at our respective councils. As we speak, out of the 18 local government councils, about 15 local government has been touched by this saga, councillors being influenced to carry out purported impeachment in the respective councils. Just yesterday here, I was somewhere with my family when I heard that some hoodlums at Bokuto, my local government is a West Legislative Chamber, broke into it, some hoodlums led by one Abu Aliyu, aka Agbo, the other one Shaggy. The number of APC talks broke into it in a company of a law enforcement agency, the police. And I quickly reached out to the DPO and to let him know that what was happening. He told me he was going there. Soon as I reached out to the DPO, I reached out to area commander. I called severally, he didn't pick up. I remember at the time when I called him when these things were coming up, I told him this is what is happening. A situation where talks, APC talks will go and take over councils and you are giving cover. And it's not good. What if the opposition now also mobilize there? Will there not be fracas that will lead to bloodshed? He told me that he couldn't do otherwise, that his loyalty is to the government of the day.
Okay.
So that's the situation we are finding ourselves.
Wow, thank you so much, Honorable Zubiri. So two things. First of all, in terms of the impeachment and what's going on in Edo State, in your own case, was due process followed in your case? And then second part of my question then would be that the governor has justified the actions of the suspension of the local government chairman, saying that 18 of you diverted or remitted about 12 billion naira to leaders of the PDP party within 15 months of being elected. Please, what's your statement on that? Did the 18 local government chairmen divert the sum of 12 billion naira given to leaders of the PDP, according to what the governor has said and his reason for going after the local government chairman beyond due process being followed? Please, what's your response to that?
Well, concerning the impeachment you talked about, I just told you now that I was somewhere, and as we speak, the councillors are on recess to resume work on the 20th of this month. It's a normal thing. It's a normal thing that councillors go on recess and then resume at a particular time. So as we speak, they are on recess. The question of whether it passed through due process does not go arise. Councillors who were not on grant, who traveled out of the local government for recess, how can they go and carry out that kind of purported impeachment? And like I told you, I have two videos which I forwarded earlier. One for the purported impeachment. The characters there were not even councillors. Those who even claim to be majority leader, the other one the speaker, and the third person are not even elected councillor, whether from a local government or from another local government. There are characters that were imported elsewhere to come and perpetrate such illegality. While that one was going on, we were informed. And the councillors where they were, they put themselves together, and then they did a video. I have two videos in my possession, one for that purported illegal impeachment, and then the other one the councillors did, all the 12 councillors that I have in my local government, they did video, countering that the illegality that was perpetrated that yesterday. Concerning the 12 billion, you just asked me. I don't think I won't be able to answer that question. I don't know where 12 billion will come from. 12 billion from where? From the council purse, or from where? How did the 12 billion? I'm sure you know what 12 billion means. Not even 1 billion, 2 billion, 3 billion.
No, he said it was 18 of you that did it. So you shared it. So he said it was 18 of you that did it. So that you shared it in your, okay, you can only speak for yourself. Did you remit any funds to the leaders of the PDP?
Yeah, if I participate in the sharing of 12 billion as a council chairman, I don't think I'll be where I am now. If I participate in the sharing of 12 billion as a council chairman,
okay,
I will never be where I am as I speak to you. So let me speak for myself. That the fact that I don't know anything about it, it does not mean I should not speak generally. No, I am not the AGO chairman, neither am I even the vice chairman or whatever. Even if I'm the AGO chairman, AGO chairman, chairman, you speak to yourself. You can't speak on behalf of my council.
No problem.
As far as my council is concerned,
speaking for
I don't
yourself.
have idea.
Okay, let's continue to speak for you with regards to this issue. So when the governor was breaking down the issue of these funds, he said that it was 800 million that was being remitted per month. And he said what caught his attention was the fact that the line item was called environmental security funding. So, okay, fine. You were not involved in the sharing or the alleged sharing of this money. But I'm just curious, what is environmental security funding and why does it need 800 million naira of local government budget per month?
Well, environmental security, like in my local government, we used to do security and we used to do environment. We used to do security in my local government, sometime on a weekly basis, sometime on a monthly basis in my own local government. And we have never spent up to, even if we don't even spend up to a million for such an exercise. We don't. Up to a million in such an exercise. I don't know how it came about. Environmental security is something, I think, is a project of the state government. I wouldn't know. State government is saddled with the responsibility of funding security. I wouldn't know about that. Honestly, I don't know about that.
Okay, so have you submitted your books for vetting?
Without the ones like you working tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. No matter your industry, Grainger's here for you with
What?
Have you submitted your books? You were asked to submit your books, and the governor said nobody has submitted their books. So I'm just wondering, are you one of those who has not submitted their books?
Well, it's not as if, let me first of all clarify this. Mr. Governor is Mr. Governor, just like Mr. President is Mr. President. There's no way we as council chairmen can work in isolation of Mr. Governor. It's not possible at all. And that was why when he was to be inaugurated, all of us, we did our best to ensure we attend that inauguration. Not just attending it, but it was a way of showing our loyalty and to showing our readiness to work with him and to do everything that will make his government to succeed. Immediately he was inaugurated, we made several attempts to see him, at least to have one-on-one with him as our boss, to show that solidarity, to show that loyalty, to show that commitment, and to let him know from the bottom of our heart that we are going to be loyal to him 100%, so that the dividend of democracy that we promise will get to the grassroots, either through us or through any other means. So the idea of you ask for a document we didn't submit, it does not arise. What really happened was that when we made several attempts to see him and it was not fruitful, we had to officially write to him asking, begging for a date for courtesy call. So we have opportunity to have all of this beautiful discussion with him. For like 2 weeks, it was not granted until one day Agon Chairman reached out to us and said the date for the courtesy call was not fixed. And of us rushed to the venue of the courtesy meeting with smiles. hoping that we're going to discuss with our boss.
Okay.
You know, whether you like it or not, whether PPC or is. But unfortunately, we got there. It was the deputy that now came and said he was there to represent Mr. Governor. It's
Honorable.
fine. Governor can be busy and delegate a deputy to attend to us.
Honorable Marvelous
so, right there,
Zibiri.
the chairman of Agon.
Well, Honorable
I just
Marvelous.
wanted to explain some circumstance surrounding the question you asked me regarding refusal to make some documents available. It's not true. So we at the Kosi call the deputy governor, after the Agon chairman had beautifully marshaled some point and messages of loyalty and commitment to his government, the only response to us was, we have given you 48 hours ultimatum to go and provide your council's account statement. And the Agon chairman said, yes, we will do that. But when we not go back, the faces alone was so intimidating. It was not friendly at all. We not go back and say, okay, this was a verbal directive. Let us make it official by writing to the secretary to the local government, secretary to the state government, so that he can officially communicate us upon which we can now act. Because those that will work with at the council, the HOGA and the TLG, there's no way they can act on a verbal directive. That was it. So all those things have been provided.
Honorable Zibiri, without any doubt, marvelous things happening in Edo State under the watch of Governor Okpewolo. But the Supreme Court is very clear that the local government council is a valid level of governance, and that Section 7 says, yes, they are democratically elected, and you have your own structures. It's not for state governors to act as supervisory headmasters. But in any case, the details will still be resolved in terms of, other ancillary constitutional provisions. I hope you are in your office and not in hiding, because it would be nice to know that. But if you are in hiding, hopefully you will get a chance to return to your office in Auchi in due course. Thank you very much for
What is
These people are jokers. These people, this local, look at him sounding so humble, quiet, talking under his breath. Yeah, loyalty, talking about loyalty. During the last election, Esako local government, all the local government areas in Esako, they're the ones that rigged the most. They had marvelous numbers. Numbers that did not match the number of people that registered to vote. Look at him now. When they say you people should do the right thing, no, you won't. You sold your souls. Now you're coming to come and be talking about loyalty. They ask you a question. Show us the books. You are talking another thing. These people, bunch of lazy, greedy, gluttonous, mediocre human beings. Look at him. Maybe he's in hiding. Look at them. They're going to replace you with the most loyal people ever. When they were telling people to do the right thing, you people were selling out your local government votes. You were selling them out. Esako, especially, they were the ones that rigged, marvelous rigging. That's what took place in Esako. Marvelous. The numbers were not matching. 100 people will register in a particular local government. By the time they collect the numbers, 500 people. Half you get 100 people register, 500 people voting, and all voting for one side. I beg you, all these people, mumu tears. You're coming, okay, who are you coming to explain all this rubbish to now? Tell us how you went about the money. You people, the man say, the governor that you people decided to impose on yourselves, come and give account. You people, you did not show up. He wants to replace all of you with the most loyalist people. The people that will give him 100% loyalty. That's what he wants. Are you people proud of yourselves? You have a man that is an illiterate, as your governor in an entire state. when you know you have brilliant people, you decide, you chose to be part of the rigging system and rigged him in. Now you people are all ashamed of yourselves, including all the traditional leaders that went to be begged behind. Guess what? It is you people's shame. It is your shame. When they talk about Edo State now, they will say, hey, that man is an illiterate. So when they say people should not be upset, take it. Take it. It is what you people wanted after all. Do the right thing for once. No. Everybody is thinking about their stomach. Thinking about how much money they are going to siphon. See, what is environmental funding for goodness sake? What do you need environmental funding for? What do they take and they do? What do they do with environmental funding? That's how they will use it to steal money. Meanwhile, Edo State is like a sinkhole. It's not getting better. The place is like a disappearing city. Are you people proud of yourselves? Clap for yourself. Is the food you people know how to chop. Nah, come and collect. You people scale one after the other. Now the man that you help to rig in, you people are going to lose your jobs, and he's going to replace them with people more loyal than all of you. That's what the outcome is. I'm telling you. Provide statement is speaking English, talking in monotone. They quiet, they talk. They fear to talk. Fear not let them talk come out. Agbero not they let them see road now for Edo State. Now so flog them, they flog them. Me, I even heard when they refused to show up, they sent out Agberos went all over to go and mount on each of their local government. They did not allow them in. They said they were waiting for them. Anybody who show up now flogged him. And can you imagine that in a whole state? Is that not a shame? You people will think you are doing other people. You don't know it's yourselves you are doing. Who is collecting the insult now? All your traditional leaders and all of you greedy people, you're all collecting the insult. My own is let them one day lose their minds and flog all of you. That one me, I'll be very happy. These people don't want to have sense. I'm telling you, you are duly elected. Treat the local people well. They will exactly. They won't. If they did the right thing for their people, I guarantee you, nobody will dare come. It is the people that will form a group and beat these Agberos up and ensure that they help them. No. Instead, when they get there, they want to chop money, chop in the front, chop in the back. When they are doing bad things, they won't say, they will even follow join and do the bad thing. Esako was the most rigged. If you see the numbers coming out of Esako, you will fear. They were rigging it anyhow. They didn't care. People were on live that they were looking at. I was looking at the entry from the INEC website. It was such a marvelous rigging in Esako. Look at him. He's coming out to complain. He should go and sit down somewhere. All of them useless people. Meanwhile, you go to their communities, nothing to write home about. When did Edo State become a state here? Yeah? When did it become a state? Look at the capital of a whole state. Look at how it is. A state that has money, that has oil. Did you know my state is agriculture? Man, are you kidding me? Food was the pride. At least where me I come from. Food everywhere you turn. Look at them. Palm oil, palm wine everywhere you turn. They've turned the state upside down. You people were one of the states. You were the first to have states. You were the first to have states. Your capital is nothing to write home about. It's like a village. A village even good. It's like a disappearing city. Ancient. Shame on all of you, oh, God forbid. Welcome, Mr. Bibweze. Greetings to you. Oh. So good to have you. Welcome, my brother. How's everything?
Yeah, good evening. Happy New Year.
Sir. Same to you. Welcome. Oh.
Yeah. Thank you for the wonderful work you're doing on Nigeria, because I don't know how you get the strength. I don't know how you guys, obviously, I don't know how you guys, putting up with all this nonsense. Look at that interview you played of that lady. Does that tell you that that lady knows what she's saying? She just nonsense. I'm glad the interviewer tried, you know. I'm glad she tried. She grilled to tell her that she knew nothing she was saying.
Exactly.
How can you ask you, how are you gonna put money on education, man? You are talking for alumni. Does that lady understand? Come on, man. This is disgraceful. When I hear all this type of things, I cry. That's why sometimes I feel like I don't want to bother myself. You know, sometimes I feel like, you know what? I don't want to bother myself, but I can't. Yet I'm here again.
Yes.
Yet I'm here again. Imagine you ask somebody, how are you going to support education? And you are talking about donation. That they are doing it in the Western world. Who is doing it in Western world? No, you live in America, right?
Yeah.
When did the alumni are sponsors of tertiary education? They all have foundations.
Alumni will only come and contribute, like, you know, old school boys. You get together, you say, okay, you want to continue to pour into the school. Yeah, we have.
How much? Let me ask you, how much? Because in this country I'm residing now, how much do they contribute?
Not enough to take.
From year to year, I'm telling you, listen, yeah. From year to year, they're not doing it. Once in a while, you know, some of them who attend big positions, some of them who made it like Mark Zuckerberg, he can gather them, say, hey, I put 20 million down. That's it. What is 20 million? 20 million cannot take them out to 3 months in tertiary education. Mark my word, I'm saying it clear. Because I'm involved here. Government set up schools and foundations and see how they're going to be making money to support the school. And you're telling us you're waiting for alumni. Again, you said to us, oh, everybody in Nigeria knows that the Almajiris, they have their own curriculum. Who set up the curriculum? Are they government of themselves? And they ask you, what kind of learning are they getting from there? Because for government to set up a curriculum, they must have objective. What to learn, what to achieve with that learning. So what are we talking? What are we talking? I'm so angry with that lady. I'm so angry with that lady because, you see, men are doing worse, right? But if I see a woman who does that kind of a thing, it makes me mad because this is, you know what she's doing? She's blocking opportunities.
True.
People will give her as an example.
Let me tell you about women like this.
Man.
This woman that you see coming to talk, if you go and look now, she probably was one of these politicians' daughter or wife that don't know that they just give position. Say, okay, because remember they use the Almajiris for voting every year. Every year. Now the Almajiri children, and they use stay up their numbers for vote. Have you forgotten? So they're trying to find a way.
One of the this in MG, he said that forget this they're saying, right? What they are doing now is trying to buy off the malams who teach these people, because whatever that malam says during the election is what this kid's gonna do.
Exactly. Guess what? They want to put money in the hands of the malam. So what they're
exactly. That's what I heard. I heard that from him. And immediately I heard this from him. There's no doubt in my mind. That is absolute reality. If you've been following Nigeria, like he always said. No. Look at what is happening in Edo. Are we in a gangster paradise? Are we? Come on, man. You know, these are the things. If I see these things.
We are in a gangster's paradise, my brother. This is one of the motivations for coming up to talk. See, sometimes, right? Even me, sometimes I wonder, Why am I even so bothered? Why am I why am I so concerned? What it concern me, right? But guess what? It is things because in my mind I'm like, if we don't call out this poison as it is happening, right? It will continue. The children that are growing right now are growing in this mess. Imagine how bad things are. We are talking. Just imagine if nobody is saying anything. You know now they are very rattled because Peter Obi came out. The thing pain them. Say Peter Obi come out. The thing they pay all their bodies.
You don't say, were you not the one who played the Mocha's video? Did you not hear how he was blabbing? He doesn't even know what he said. Oh, you made a statement. You come and interpret it for me. Is that what you say? We take the context of what that statement. What is going on when forget what he's saying. We all interpret language. Okay? We all interpret language. We go with the context of what you are saying. He purely threatened Obi. He purely threatened him. And what scared him is because Obi said, so be it if they want to take him out. That is the fear you see that is gripping them.
Not even
because
that.
Obi never spoke in that manner before. I'm telling you. They are seeing that he has given obedience ammunition, right, to stand tall. To stand tall. Because we were begging Obi last time, please, release us.
Bless you. Yes. Speak on it, my.
So, I mean, you see, they are very scared now. Real scared. If you hear how he was talking, you see that interview. He is not his usual self at all. He is not his usual self. They are completely scared. If anything happens tomorrow, God forgive. God forbid. It will not happen.
They be scared. They really need. Left to me, I said it. I'm not in election. Count me out. Anybody that wants to do it, I'll make my platform available to anybody that wants to talk about it. Me, in a way, secretly, to be honest with you, in my mind, I'm like, hey, maybe people just make mistakes. Maybe they just say, they just carry Peter, carry and put them. Hey! Oh my
once Peter Obi used that language, so be it, right?
It's over.
They are afraid. They are afraid completely. That word, so be it. You know, before they think Obi is coming to, use because of his popularity, with fear and do, some, in our local language, mago. But when they see that he was diligently doing his thing at the right time, he made that statement. Fear is gripping them.
Yeah.
Real fear is gripping these people.
They sent him to come and test that word. They sent that man to come and say what he said intentionally to get the reaction, to come and feel the pulse. They felt it. People, before you know what's happening, people have already figured out his children, his address, everything. Don't play. I'm like, these people don't know what they are messing with. You see, everybody has been quiet about other things that have been happening in Nigeria. You see, Dele Faro to me on that noise we make, it will shock everybody for that country. They know they're afraid now.
They're riding on their luck. They're riding on their luck this time. They're riding on their luck.
Make a mistake. I want because it's time for a reset. Let them make a mistake. The way that country is now, I don't even understand. It's upside down. Let them make the mistake. I want to see something. Since they say they are tough, they're saying that by mouth. Look at the knot shaking up and down. I don't know if you listened to one interview I played one time. One other man, you heard it, right? That interview still rings in my brain. Like this man said everything back. Anything that wants to happen, let it happen. Says that if you want to take the feeding bottle away from them. Now show us what you are capable of. You say you have the numbers. Use your numbers effectively now. Pay tax. Voice me. All of them, they cry up and down. They cry. Some came out and started threatening. They asked them, are you threatening? You say, well, then they speak English. Oh God, I say, oh my goodness, Nigeria. Ha!
No, this time around, right? They need to understand. If you see the Burkina Faso president, how he was received by the crowd,
Oh
he is telling
God.
them that we are not in uniform with these criminals called politicians. We are not in uniform. The reception he had there, right, says it all. And every nation in West Africa should be careful. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you.
They should be careful because the reception that guy had with amount of threat to his life, and he had that type of reception, they are in trouble. They are, all of them, including this new Ghanaian president. He knew that there is trouble. I mean, you see,
I don't even know this Ghanaian president so much. To be honest, even the guy that they said, the Felix Moka, whatever his name is, I didn't know who the man is until this. I don't know anything about the man. I saw this one. Where they send that from? Where did he call out from? Apparently,
anytime he come on TV, it will be his problem. Will be his problem. Anytime he come on TV.
I even found out that he was PA to Rats. I don't know saying that PA to Rats before. I didn't know. I said, oh, no wonder. They sent him now to come and test the atmosphere. Yeah?
No, their cup has food. Their cup has food. It's just a matter of time. I'm telling you. Because if you see what is happening now, Nigerians, they are up. When I say everybody, I mean, that's why you see this program they enroll. They want to use it for the North. This education something. They want to use it to calm the North down. But it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Which program? You mean the Almajiri school thing?
The Almajiri school now. They're finding a way to shift the argument. That's what happened.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah. Because in fact, they've lost the North. So they're looking for something. You know how Jonathan diligently, right, knew that he is losing the North, right? And they start building those schools just to gather them, to put them to put them organized, right? Now, these people find out that, okay, with this, we might get the Malams, because the Malams, if you understand them, once they enter that their mosque, whatever they speak stands. So now, as they say this now, they say, oh, you can see now they are taking care of our Almajiris. Let's calm down. It's gonna happen. Look at what she said. Oh, you send them to school. You go land them. You put them. You give them a handwork. You establish them. Saying it as a, and you ask them, what program? How did you organize the program? When are you going to roll it out? And she start blabbing.
Look like, yeah.
She start blabbing. That's where I just said to myself, this person has nothing to say, because if you have a program, you must have from June to September. You're gonna do this. This is gonna happen.
Yeah, time. Exactly.
I mean, this is. I mean, Nigeria. Sometimes, one of my resolution is not to get angry about Nigeria, but already I've started. So it's what it is. The only thing is your likes. I beg you guys, don't stop talking, because in fact, if I tell you I don't listen to local news anymore, or knowing what is happening around me, it's all about Nigeria. Sometimes the kids ask me, what are you doing? You don't even care about where you live. They won't understand. They won't understand.
They can't now. They can't.
They keep asking me all the time, you listen to Nigeria. What is going on? I say, Where are you gonna go if they say leave this country? That's why we're fighting for it. You know?
Exactly. Because
that's why we're fighting for it.
Yeah, if there's trouble outside our house, let us be wrong.
It's
that's where you know, that's where you know, that's where your roots are. So it's safer. That's the natural reaction. You run home when there's trouble outside. Yeah, look at what Sid said. Tinubu has lost the north. They don't trust him. They're waiting for 2027. That's why Obi is a serious threat to Tinubu, because all the money he tends to spend in the north is no guarantee. With this Almajiri, there's no plan. Look at the way my woman they talk, and he call herself professor. Honestly, I don't respect professors for Nigeria. I'm very sorry. If you're a professor, you're on your own. Zero respect.
No.
You guys have no clue. You don't have no sense. Look at what the woman. Okay, tell us a structure. How is this going to work out? Give us a curriculum. Give us an idea of how it's going to run. So now what they want to do is put money in the hands of malams. When those people come, that money will not reach those children. They will still be treated like Almajiris. They will not give them the necessary education. You say read and write. Read and write in what? Read and write in what? We are in a global village now. People can speak multiple languages, learn different skills. Read and write in what? No explanation to that. All this one that they are doing is just fire extinguisher method. It cannot work. If that is what Tinubu's plan is, forget. Exactly. See, especially all these professors from the north, they could go get professorship for India, for Afghanistan, for all these very weird places. Come, they tell you so. No. With due respect to our middle belters that are very educated, and some of the Hausas that are extremely educated. You know what? I saw a video today. I forgot to save that video so I can share it. Some lady, Hausa lady, came up and she was talking. She said she's beginning to wonder that since these Fulani people have come to stay with them, they've not brought peace. They even accepted their religion, nothing. They removed their traditional leaders and have replaced them, with their own emirs. There is no one single Hausa governor, all is Fulani. So their interest is not even cared for at all. This girl was asking, like, why? Because Hausa people are quiet. Because I remember growing up there, because I grew up in Ibadan. I grew up around Hausa people. The Hausa people me I know, very peaceful people. Very, very peaceful. We're friends growing up. No, this version that I'm seeing, I'm like, where did this? I don't even know. Say, I don't know about Fulani until I can say, all of a sudden, it's Hausa Fulani. From where to when? I said everything. I'm so sorry I didn't save that video. I would have come to play it here. So many lies that have been told are being exposed. Now the north is divided. The middle belters are saying, no, we don't know you people. We don't. You people should go your way. Day your day, maybe day our day. The leaders sold out, just like in everywhere now. They look for the most corrupt ones among them and just use them for their benefit. Time don't they near. Something will happen for Nigeria very soon. I don't know what it will be. I don't know anything. But from what I can observe, from what's going on with everything, I don't know. I feel something is coming. I don't know what it is. I'm telling you, see, that will be the plan. But you see, that Abuja will not work out for Ramo. Abuja will be a tough one for him as well. Exactly. I'm a quota system. Water system professor. They will go in there. Not be Kwankwaso, not be India. I think go get your PhD. All of them. Not which when they say they get trouble for where, when on Libya, which country they fight, where air peace go rescue them. Which place again? Some of them are there, they're going to do PhD in Islamic study. All those, they can't come back, they talk PhD. Please, excuse me. Do you understand? Now, the Southerners, now they Japa pass. Fulanis are not Japaing. They are there. They are taking all the positions. Now, I heard that they laid off how many CBN employees, right? Most of them, all from the north. They are crying. that they've laid off all these people, they want to replace them with only Yoruba people. I say now, Sabi, when you guys were doing, you people now full service, federal service for Nigeria. Now customs now. Everything now. Eh? Buhari laid the foundation now. So make the man, this man when he come now, T-Pain, he said one chop your own. So he go put all in people. They don't lay off so many people from CBN. That's what I had, about 1,000 of them. That's what I heard. And they're all crying all over. I'm like, when I just start to cry. This is why selfishness is not good. You think you're in power today. Oh, you're going to remain there forever. And there's the same mistake that this T-Pain and their people are doing. The same mistake. The same thing. Everybody go there. Me, honestly, now we ain't going to take better for everybody. Everybody go their separate way. Even if we have to stay together, let's have a decentralized center. We'll just have one person there, administrator there, that will just be administering things. It will be like secretary. That's all. See the way it is right now, it's not working. Everything does not make sense. Almajiri is a culture that is ingrained in the north, and those kids become the Boko Haram of. Yes, absolutely. Look at them talking about forgiving Boko Haram, people that have killed people. They will now be staring at their victims. No. Man, the level of dysfunction in that whole environment, I can't even begin to imagine it. There was my sister Amaka. I say this whole Fulani, I couldn't wonder. I say, wait, I never heard Fulani growing up. Never heard it. When did it become Fulani Hausa? It don't make sense to me till today. I'm like, we don't have a Fulani. There's a video of some man that's been begging them that they should leave, they should stop causing trouble in the West and in the Sahel. They should come back to where they come from. Now they're in the wrong place, they are going in the wrong direction. I don't know. I saw that I will see that video very come from. The man called, they tell them, he say, me could come back. You're on a day, so not in a place. You guys are not in the right place. That's what the person was saying. You people are in the wrong, you are in the wrong location. Come back. That's not your real home. One thing, I say, wow, interesting. You know? Let me see. Did I save that video? Let me see if I saved it. I don't think I did. Man, I thought I saved it though. I wanted to come and play for you guys. Like these people, their brother is calling them to come back home. They should leave Nigeria. That Nigeria is not their home. That's what the person was saying. Directing the message to the Fulani. He said, you are not, that's not your home. Stop creating problem for people. That's what the guy was saying. It's crazy. How we continue like this in a country where we have different tribes? One tribe just continue to cause problems since time immemorial. They cause problem. Now let me bring that video of Apc Gov again. I really like that video. God will bless that man continuously. Let me see. That man, oh my God. I say, wow. So Nigerians, Apc Gov, yeah, that's it. What's his name again? Oh, somebody reminds me. Is it I can't remember now. What did I see? I think it was on Arise News. That man said it all. Spoke truth to power. Truth to power. What did they pain everybody body? Like this man, he just come, bam, say whatever wants to happen, let it happen. Everybody go their separate way, and I agree. The tribal, in fact, even the bigotry alone has been weaponized. Oh my God, it's very scary. When I listen to some of these things that come out of people's mouth on social media, I'm like, God damn, this is scary. This is really disturbing. If everybody were to start fighting, the level of mayhem that will take place in Nigeria, almost how many people don't fight for Nigeria? Over 600,000 people, if not more, and we are not at war. And we are supposed to have a government. Okay, I didn't spell it right. Okay, let me bring it up. Let me bring it up. Because the guy said it all. There was nothing left. This guy said it all. Hmm?
Thanks for staying with us. You're welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Well, our next guest is Dr. Akin Fakpunda, who is the Secretary, Eminent Elders Forum. In the midst of the recent national bedlam over President Tinubu's tax reform proposals, Dr. Fakpunda described the entire thing as creeping regionalization that is being half-heartedly implemented. What exactly did he mean? He joins us now from Arise Abuja studios for a broader conversation around the issues of governance in Nigeria. Good morning, Dr. Fakpunda. Good to have you join us on the morning show. And happy New Year to you, sir.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning to viewers.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. All right, let's come to your thoughts around what the government of the day, of course, headed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is doing. You've expressed some about the tax reform bills and about what you called, half-hearted attempt at regionalization. I'd like you to explain in detail what you meant, given the fact that if we zero down to the tax reform bills, the four of them themselves, you see that Afenifere did endorse it, even though there was a backlash from the North, being almost outrightly against it. But then what is the position of the Elders Forum that you represent and your own personal position, given that the gentleman who is behind all this, our president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a Yoruba man like your good self? What are your thoughts about his reforms, particularly the tax reform bills?
There are so many issues on this matter. The first foundation to lay is that Nigeria is not a united country, despite all the pretenses. We are not South since 1914. It has not changed. The North, at the flip of a switch, they are able to shout Northern interest. The Southerners are laid back, hoping that, we are civilized. We don't want to talk about tribalism. Tribalism is at play. We are pretentious about this matter. Look, the North has taken us for a ride for too long. They foisted federal character on Nigeria over 40 years. They foisted quota system over Nigeria 40 years. Have they benefited from it? Only the tiny clique in the North is holding the whole country to ransom. It's enough. We are not together, not plus out. Now they are talking the elite, the few elite in the North, like if Finibotu is going to be removed from their mouth. That's what they are doing. They are shouting. They are forming a group now, lead of Northern Democrats. The governor of Bauchi was talking. They won't be able to pay salaries again. They won't be able to do that. Look, the North has damaged Nigeria fundamentally with this attitude. Who are the Nigerians who are now japping now? They are Southerners. The South invested in education massively in the 50s and the 60s. The products now are being driven out of Nigeria. Can you find the Fulani man in London or in New York practicing medicine, practicing engineering? It's Yoruba, the Igbo, Southerner that are marginalized. It's time to call the bluff of the North. Not because we even support what Tinubu is doing, but we have to converse about Nigeria. Nigeria is not, we are pretentious. Let's go to the brass tacks. That's why we are calling for regionalization. The North is separate from the South. That's just the truth, unless we are deceiving ourselves. There are many issues about the tax reform. Look, the president is not focusing in the right direction. Just one item alone in inheritance tax. The North has a different perspective on Sharia. The Southwest have different customs. The East have different approach. By trying to do a unitary tax system, when we are all having a different flavor of life, is that not a voyage to nowhere? On that account alone, I will not really agree with what President Tinubu is trying to do. In all honesty, President Tinubu is focused on this tax matter. That is going to be the mantra of his administration. Let's assume that even the tax bill is passed in the next 3, 4, 5 months. Okay, what next? What next? Mr. President is taking his reputation, his political acumen on the tax bill. But there are many issues that he's about to have faced that he's not talking about. Civil service is blighted. Federal civil service in Abuja. We don't have a civil service. Civil servants are just looking to find a means to survive. They are not operating organically with the government. They are not. On our report, President said they would do it within 6 weeks, 12 weeks rather. They have done nothing about it. If we don't reform this public service and you keep giving some money to FRA to collect tax so you can spend, and then there are many issues that I can table in this in this show today. In 2023, the president announced a 500 billion naira agri project. What has happened to it? It didn't implement it. Now we have livestock ministry. I know now they are looking for offices in Abuja. When are we going to get the first cows from the livestock ministry? So overall, the focus on tax bill is totally not what Nigeria is looking at now. There are more serious issues, fundamental reform. Tax bill is not the reform that we want. The country has to be reorganized and let all of us live separately, but as good neighbors. As good neighbors. We are different. It's just a fact. We can gloss over it from here to eternity. Let me just stop there right now.
Okay, and that's a good place to start. I agree with you. There's so many things that the president has to fix to make sure that Nigeria is right again. But before we move on to those things, I still want to ask you one more question on this Nigeria's tax system that has been a subject of debate for decades. With this president to overhaul it significantly. Tax reforms are never easy, especially in a diverse and complex country like Nigeria. Many critics fear that the proposed changes might favor certain regions or economic classes over others. Now, I'm wondering if there's any way you think these reforms can be structured to dispel these fears, to ensure inclusivity and demonstrate tangible benefits for all Nigerians. I ask this because the backlash, like you rightfully said, against these reforms, especially from some northern groups, highlights the deep-seated regional sensitivities that we have. From your perspective, is there anything that this government can do to balance the need for a tax modernization with the concerns of these regions while fostering unity and trust across the country?
If you've recently been injured in a car accident that wasn't your fault, I've got one question for you. Do you know how to get the maximum compensation that you deserve in this?
The idea of your statements is just the problem. We cannot be united when we are not equally yoked. We are equally yoked. We cannot be united at all. But let everybody just live according to his own worldview. Then the temperature will come down. But trying to stay in Abuja and put a package together for the whole country, from the northwest to the southeast, from the northeast to the southwest, it's not going to work. Okay, the president might use all his authority, all the presidential powers to get it through. And then what? And then what? What are the two elements in the tax reform? You are conceding no tax to the lowest people, 130 million Nigerians who are destitute. Then you want to tax the big companies. The big companies are folding. They are living in Nigeria. They cannot afford diesel to run generators. They are even the one they manufactured. No sales. There is poor demand. So who will pay the tax? Who will pay the tax? Is it run-down companies that will pay the tax? Anybody earning below 70,000, no tax. Okay. So where is the money coming from? And when the money comes, to be spent on what? To spend on deficit. To be spent on paying back loans that we have taken, that we have exhausted, that we have stolen. Is that it? What are you going to use tax for? It's not tax that we, okay, let him get it through, fine. Let him get it through. But is that the end of the tunnel? It is not, in my opinion. But the president needs to be politely advised. It's now almost 2 years that he's been in the saddle. It's time to think. His presidential chat that he had, he was so cocksure of everything. But that's not reality at all. It's not cocksure. This February will be 2 years since he's been elected. It is time to just reappraise issues. It's hanging in the air. We on the ground, we are not feeling what he's trying to do. It might be well in the right direction at all. So to answer your question, this tax matter will not unite Nigeria. If you consider the North, that they get more VAT, for doing what? They've got federal character for 40 years. What have they done with it? They've got quota for 40 years. What have they done with it? They're just being spoiled. They don't want to wake up to reality that they are not doing well. They are not performing. And when you compromise, you kill the South. The energy is being sucked out of the South in trying to remedy and carry the North along. We should be tired of carrying them along, in all honesty. Somebody has to call their bluff. There is no alternative to the South calling the bluff of the North. Absolutely.
Okay, sir. Now, I'd like to ask you two separate questions. One is about what you said earlier about what is the North doing? Because when it comes to VAT and tax exemptions, a lot of our VAT exempt goods, our foods, our agricultural products, come from the North, and they do not get VAT from that. But so I want to ask why you believe the North is being spoilt in terms of VAT when most of our food and agricultural produce is from the North is our food basket. And the second thing you spoke to was about where is the tax going to? Where are they spending the money on? Because a lot of Nigerians have been harping on about fiscal responsibility, that where is this money going towards? The presidency now has put forward their budget to the National Assembly, and the budget is going to be debated alongside the tax bills in this coming year. Now, the presidency the State House headquarters has budgeted 6 billion naira for purchases of new cars, 7 billion naira to build an office building for the president's own assistants. However, in the same budget, we're only seeing 250 million naira going to learning and teaching aids in the Federal Ministry of Education. So do you think that the budget also that they're trying to get this revenue for, do you think the budget is a useful way of using Nigeria's taxpayer money?
If you were involved in a car accident and you were not at fault, listen to this. Insurance companies don't want you to know. You may
Two questions. The North deliberately chose not to be organized. They are engaged in petty trading. How can you tax a petty trader on the street? How can you tax people who are just in the markets? They refused to organize. They insisted on having a Almajiri system. How can Almajiri pay tax? The governor of Bauchi State confirmed that they have no institutional framework to even tax anybody on VAT. You tax, they refuse to organize even selling of cows. They are not organizing selling of onions. How do you pay VAT on that? They not refuse to organize so that it can be in the modern age where you can have corporate systems to market things. They oppose commodity systems for agri products. So how do you tax something that is not organized? They are diffuse. There is no record. In the markets, in the North, see anywhere. Is there a market? There's no market, no organized market. That's their problem. Then that's it. As to what happened to the tax, I already answered the question. If President Tinubu gets this tax bill through now, to get money for what? Money for what? The civil service is bloated. The president was very proud to say he has 48 ministers and they are doing well. That's profligacy now. Orsay report has been there. We now have almost 1,000 parastatals in the federal government and they are doing nothing. I live in Abuja. Civil servants are just on the streets trying to say they can buy a house for 50 million, 100 million. That's what Abuja is. Abuja is for you to just make money and buy houses. Nobody is interested in a proposal to reform the system. An average civil servant, they are not interested in their jobs anymore. And you cannot blame them because the environment is too harsh for a public servant, the way I was in service 24 years ago. So the budget is just a symptom. We are not interested in doing anything serious with the money we are going to get. In any case, over the years, Nigeria is sitting on massive corruption. The president said he will not probe the military because he respects them. That's fair. What happened to the fuel subsidy claim under Jonathan? Have we looked into it? Look, there are so many reports of public stealing. Nigeria Airways water panel report, CMS report, Alibotin report. Even all the things recorded by AFCC, who knows what happened to them? There's a place in Abuja where almost 400 cars just abandoned, AFCC impounded. So there's so much waste in the system. Try to make more money to cover the waste. It's totally misdirected in my own reckoning. We need to really discuss the fabric of the Nigerian society. We don't need more money at all. The money we already have is enough if applied wisely. If applied wisely. Too many assets are wasting away. And getting more loans and getting more taxes to just pop over the system.
If you still think food delivery is the best way to make money in today's economy, I'm sorry.
It's totally, I don't understand. I don't understand. Honestly, I don't understand.
All right, Dr. Fakunda. It looks to me like a lot of people might consider your submissions a bit concerning. You know, the way that you're addressing issues that have to do with the northern part of the country. When you say that we are different, does it appear to you that it might sound like you are trying to breed division? Does it appear to you like you are in a way sounding like Kemi leader of the Conservative Party in the UK, who is of Nigerian parentage and who says that, you know, have got nothing in common with the North, and that they were even enemies, you know, of where she comes from, which is of the Yoruba stock. You, of course, will have noticed the backlash that attracted, and people criticize that that's not the spirit that Nigeria is trying to work on. So when you base your argument of regionalization on the fact that we can be together, even though we can be good neighbors, don't you think, sir, that you might make things a bit difficult for somebody like President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is Yoruba and who has been accused anyway of trying to Yorubanize the entire machinery of government? And therefore, if you are proposing to him that he should do more of restructuring that regionalizes, wouldn't that appear as anti-North? Anti-North at a time that key Northern elements are saying that no, come 2027, look like we'll support you. Aren't you making things a bit difficult for a Yoruba man like yourself, sir, who's the president?
Thank you very much. It's a fact that we are divided. We pretend that it's totally, I don't understand it. The North knows what they want. and the South are reluctant to say what they want. President Tinubu is better to put all the cards on the table, trying to pepper over it and say we are united. Of course, we are not united. We are not united. We are divided. That's just the truth. I've told you now that the North brought federal character. The South agreed to okay, fine, we are united. Where is the result of it? The North brought quota system. Southern agree with it. It's in the Constitution. What is the result? If we now bring in tax to say, okay, get more VAT in the North at the expense of the South, so what will be the result? The division will continue until we remove the feeding bottle, let everybody just work according to his own dictates. The North sincerely believe we should not grow them for that purpose now. We should let them be. They want Sharia. In the South, there are Muslims. We don't want Sharia. Somebody brought us in Oyo to do Sharia in Oyo. Everybody put it down. The Muslims in the South don't want Sharia. So why are we pretending? In the Southeast, some few Muslims, but they don't want Sharia. Let's accept who we are. Let's accept reality so that we'll not stop talking and talking and talking and motion without movement. That's what it is. I'm not ashamed. Okay, look, if President Tinubu succeeds now, 2027, 2031, every Yoruba person in Abuja will be cleaned out of the system. Because Buhari started with Fulani. He is doing Yoruba now. Let the Igbos come. We cannot grow the Igbos if they put 99% in all positions too. Is that the way we are building the country? Let Yoruba man go and rule Yoruba land. Let the North agree on who will rule Northwest. Let the Kanuri rule Northeast. Let the South agree. Then the temperature will come down. I will not want to be running federal election with 200 million naira form because I have to run from Sokoto to Ikotekpene. I will campaign as a premier of Western region where people know me and I know them. I know what they want. The Southwest want to bring all Yorubas who are Japan, bring them back to Nigeria. Nigeria is too hostile for the Yorubas now. Nigeria is a poisoned environment for Yoruba because we invested in education so much and we have lost all the human beings. They are developing other societies. The North will not care less. How many doctors do they have in United States? How many doctors do they have in Europe? These are facts I'm put on the table now. I don't need to sugarcoat anything at all. We are divided. Let's just accept it. It's no fight. It's no war. The North will come up on their own. We will respect each other. But this matter of trying to play some games, President Tinubu is better. In fact, if he runs only one time and he brings this temperature down, his name will go down in history. But if he does not do anything in the next 6 months, and he go to use all the money to run election in 2027 and he wins, and then what? Yorubas will become endangered in the political system because once he leaves, then Nigeria not safe for Yoruba again.
Sorry,
let the Igbos come. They have right to come too.
Sorry, because you've spoken about
the come out.
I'd like to confirm.
Let the Igbos come.
I wanted to confirm something because you said Yoruba.
So let the Igbos come, and they just have to be allowed to rule too, and they were entitled to have all Igbos in all positions at that time too. That's what we are going to get if you are going the way we are going now. There's nothing. I don't need to be a prophet to say so.
Doctor, okay, I think we're having technical difficulties there, so we're going to go on a quick break and we'll be right back, so do stay with us.
Here's how savvy investors are getting the government to send.
Well, welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. We are on with Dr. Fabanda, who is coming to us, joining us from our studio in Abuja. Dr. Fabanda, can you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. Now, right before our break, you said that Yoruba people would be endangered after a Tinubu presidency. I wanted to understand that. And also because you have been speaking about, maybe it's the Igbo's turn or the North turn or the Southwest turn. But Nigeria is a very diverse country that belongs to not only the major tribes, but also, the minorities as well. So do you feel that this regionalism also gives a fair share, an equitable power share to minor tribes, people from smaller tribes like the Efik, the Ibibio, the Bini?
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I belong to a new body that is coming up in the next few weeks, Western Region Organization. Look, we need only 3 things to alter the Constitution of Nigeria. Alter the Constitution to permit regions to have their own subsidiary constitution in the way they like it. Secondly, alter the fundamental list of functions, exclusive list, concurrent list, and residual, and then permit renders. Once you put those 3 things, amendments in the Constitution, we will sort ourselves out. 36 states is not viable. We might get 12 regions, we might get 16 regions, but regions that are organic, that are willing to work together with common worldview and common culture. That's just the truth of the matter. We cannot continue the way we are now. Absolutely. Things have to change. And the earlier the change comes about, the better. As I said, there's a body coming up to talk about the Western region as it was in 1963. Other parts that feel they can exist as a region, as a viable, sustainable group. The Gbagis can be a region of their own. Why not? Why not? The Biobios can be a region of their own. Why not? United States, there's California, there's Texas, very big states. There's Rhode Island, there's Delaware. President Biden is from Delaware now, it's a very small, tiny state in the United States. But the rules are defined properly. We need to go back to parliamentary system. If we don't reform this and keep going the way we are now, we cannot stop anybody that fights and takes over power to not favor his own people. Because Buhari started it, Tinubu is doing it now, then others must do the same. Then we are sentenced to a life of penury in this country. It will be very sad. All right. President Tinubu cannot see what we are saying now.
Dr. Fakponda, very quickly, we really have to go now, but very quickly in few words, I'm just interested in those who are part of this new Western region movement. I know that this has been your consistent position for years. It was the position of Dr. Femi Adegoke, Kemi Bidnock's father, Sunday Igboho, a whole number of eminent Yoruba people. But then there's a Yoruba man as president. So who are those people that will be part of this new bloc that you are talking about? Very quickly, sir.
Oh, we have people. We are forming offices now. We are forming chapters now in the 6 states, and we are indicating for Kwara and for Kogi. In the Western region, we are proposing there will be 8 units, and we already have leaders appointed. We are coming out with this in the next few weeks. We have to push the president now, reform the system, let everybody go and do his own area. They will not be competing. In fact, let him make Abuja presidency to be relevant the way it was when Sadana said, look, I don't want to come to Lagos. Let Balewa go. That's what we need. In fact, he doesn't need to contest election in 2027 if he has done a good job. In fact, you need to just get a form for 100 naira to run for president. But this one, we are going to spend 200 million to collect form, and you're going to fly over 36 states, rallies, and wasting money. That would be terrible. Let's reform the system that we don't have this expensive campaign that goes to nowhere. But if you invest 1 trillion on election, you must take over the government and ruin the government. That's what it means.
All right. Dr. Fakponda, I want to thank you for joining us on the morning show.
Almost everything he said, though, I'm telling you, everything he said But you guys think that this is something that this man can even think about? Because if he's able to achieve this one thing, the guy, he will gain respect if this is one thing that he can do. Because the way the country is, he's not favoring anybody at all. You know, he's not favoring anybody at all. Everything that he said is the truth, nothing but the truth. You know, everybody should be having these conversations. I expect the so-called elites, whatever they're called, right, Nigerian elites, to be having these conversations at a higher level. And we should be having people coming out and speaking like this man even more and more from all the regions in Nigeria, to be honest with you. People from the south, that word south, they give me headache. South, right? Southeast, South, Niger Delta, you know, everybody should be talking about this same thing and clamoring for it. Let everybody go and do their thing. All this mess that is going on, the bigotry is on a high level. People have become so intolerant of each other. The enmity is too deep. It's ridiculous. You know, and this, unfortunately, T-Pain made it worse because he's a bigot himself. Clear bigot. Now the man be unapologetically bigoted human being. Look at how he's carrying on. Doesn't even know how to cool temperature, nothing. He doesn't care. People are dying every day. The man no even send. You know, they even bother. You know, they even talk. He just, well, I beg, let me spotlight the person I want to spotlight for this evening, because I said I was going to make it a habit of spotlighting people. So my spotlight for today is Senator Natasha Akpoti. I think that this woman, I have to give them kudos, because it's not easy to be a senator in the midst of in the midst of hyenas. I'm telling you, in the midst of hyenas, these people are dealing with so much, it's not even funny. This Senator Akpoti, this woman has done so much for her people in Kogi. It's such a wonderful thing to see. So I want to spotlight her, and I want to showcase a video that talked about something that she's doing for her people, which is so nice to see. I wish we would get more people like this who would come out and really stand for their people and work for their people. Nigeria does not encourage women to be the best version of themselves. Never. We don't encourage it at all. Just only few women in the Senate. Sometimes I wonder, how do these people cope? How do these people cope with all the mayhem that is going on in the midst of very egotistical, very egomaniacs, and men that, I don't know, very uncouth men in the midst of them. And I look at them, they don't feel, it doesn't seem to me like they are even protected at all. They don't care about them, they protect them at all. I'm looking for that her video that was done. I'm impressed, so I know we'll lie. That woman, they try. They try well. Yes, I remember when she was contesting. My goodness, I was afraid for her, because wasn't that her own constituent? That's where this man, Yaya Bello, went to break the road up so that people will not be able to vote during the election. You guys remember that? Ha! Say now, wow, this thing is strong, though. looking for it, so more no verse. What is this? Okay. I heard that she brought street lights to her people. She created her. She said so. This is as a so she flags off the construction of brand new model primary and secondary school in the Hausa Fulani Osara district of Kogi State. Projects include 12 primary schools, 12 secondary schools, administrative blocks, staff and teachers, staff and teachers quarters, library, laboratory, toilets, football pitch, health clinic, solar borehole, and street lights. You know, this woman has done a lot for her people, guys. I mean, it's such a it's such beautiful thing to see. To be honest with you, eh? Let me see if I can find the video for here. Let me see. Yaya Bello showed this woman. Hi, I can't appear for her. I think she came on Dr. Damages then. I listened to her, but I didn't really have time that day. But I have to give her kudos to be able to walk in the midst of these hyenas. I don't know how she does it though. It's not easy. I don't know what I did with this video. I thought I saved it just now. Where is this? Let me see. Yeah. Destroyed the 5 roads leading. Yaya Bello, as at 2023, he destroyed the 5 roads leading to Natasha's hometown to prevent INEC officials from getting there. The man cut them off completely overnight. I never see such evil for my life before. Let me share the video here. Found it. He's doing so well. I mean, it's so amazing to see.
I stand before you today with great excitement, gratitude, and a profound sense of responsibility. This past 1 year has been a journey of commitment, challenges, and above all, unwavering dedication to the pursuit of the well-being of our people and the development of our senatorial district.
What is unique about our distinguished Senator Natasha is that she's passionate about humanitarian services. Senator Ubaha has performed outstandingly.
One of the cornerstones of this vision has been the digitalization of education, whereby we deployed 5,000 digital learning devices to public primary and secondary schools across Kogi Central. We believe that education is the foundation of a prosperous society. We commenced the total overhaul of selected existing schools, such as the Abdulaziz Atta Memorial College, former Provincial Secondary School Okene, and the construction of a brand new model primary and secondary school in Osara, as well as the facilitation of a Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics at the Federal College of Education Okene, and automotive mechatronics and cottage automobile workshop in the Technical College of Oboroke.
We're all here today in honor of our colleague. So thank you for the good work she's doing here. I want to assure her constituents here present that your senator, your representative, is hardworking and representing you to the best possible standards globally. The work done today that we are here to witness is also a testament to that. That the school that is one of the oldest in the Federation has been uplifted. The 1 kilometer road we saw as we drove in, done to a very, very high standard. It's just a reflection of what is still to come. She's just getting started.
Equally, we have worked tirelessly to facilitate capacity building training and empowerment programs to thousands of beneficiaries from our senatorial district. Hence, today, we pull off a massive empowerment of over 1,300 artisans, paying attention to our women and youths.
It is amazing that barely 1 year in office, somebody recognizes that these things are necessary for the livelihood of the people. I'm amazed at the quantum of items that have been brought here for distribution.
This act will provide a bedrock of stability to families and in turn, communities.
It's empowerment for us. We are going to use it to make business so that my immediate community will be enjoying it.
This branding machine you give me now, I go use them, the grants, use them, the work, go they give me money, I will use them to train my children.
I love her so much. I appreciate her so much. In fact, she's making us proud. And as a woman that I am really happy to see her doing so much.
This is my first time of seeing a senator like this.
I was not expecting this from her, but she has did tremendously.
I'm looking for who will carry me to America with this keke.
Mommy, I can carry you.
Oh, yeah, enter.
Okay. I'm so excited. I'm so happy. And she'll continue to be our senator. We love her so much.
I am also deeply committed to addressing essential needs such as access to clean water. Through our numerous water projects, we have brought a reliable supply of potable water to many communities, transforming what was once a challenge to a sustainable reality. On the matters of security, the Hima community has been without a police station for 7 years. I'm honored to help my office facilitate the reconstruction and expansion of our community police station, which we commissioned today.
This reconstructed Ihima police station to the glory of God Almighty and for the benefit and service of humanity. Thank you very much.
As we mark this 1 year anniversary, let me assure you that we are just witnessing the beginning of dividends of effective legislative representation.
I'm very, very happy.
Thank you for your unwavering support. Together, we will build a brighter, stronger future for our beloved senatorial district.
Siam, tell me why her people will not come out and fight for her. Tell me. Look at the smile on the people's faces. Look at that. Yeah? Is your senator, can your senator in your
stand
village,
before you
right? Is your senator in your village? Are they doing what this woman is doing? Can you boast about what can you boast about what your own senator is doing in your senatorial district? Yeah? These are the types of women that we need in government in Nigeria, not girlfriends, mistresses that they just dash positions to, that have no clue how to run it. These are the types of women. Natasha Akpoti is an example of what every woman in any position in Nigeria should be doing. Look at the love on the people's faces. Look at the smile on the people's faces. Tell me now, this woman come and say one voice. You say people not go put their life on the line for her because of what she's doing for our community. Can you imagine a community without a police station for 7 good years? So tell me, if anything is happening, guess what? They will have to go and find a way to carry the matter, go to maybe another travel, maybe hours to the nearest police station. Eh? Look at how she's transforming the lives of her people. Barely a year, now this woman enters Senate. If every senator, in every district is doing what she's doing, and she's not the governor, we don't know what the governor is doing, if he's even doing anything at all, because I'm a protector of Yaya Bello. Eh? If every senator in every district is doing what they're supposed to do, there'll be less poverty. People will be happy. Eh? People will have some peace in their lives and some joy. Eh? I'm telling you. Eh? Yeah, because she had a clear plan to do something, no hanging fruit that does not take much money. But the other goons, they just stay there, they pocket all the money, they marry wife, join wife. Eh? They swallow money as if that money then it go follow them waka comot when they come up for this earth. Eh? This is what senators should be doing exactly. Eh? When you work for the people, you get organic love. It's not hard. All this one of come and vote, you forcing people. No, if you do the work, people will work. People will fight for you. They'll be ready. These people they don't know what it's. I don't understand. I was reading an article. Somebody was highlighting the billionaires in Nigeria, so-called billionaires in Nigeria. And the question on my mind was, what impact have these so-called billionaires made in their communities? The different parts of the country they come from, what impact have they made? Do the people feel their impact? That's how you determine. Look at Elon Musk. You guys see what Elon Musk is doing? The man is fighting. You can say, oh, he's doing it for his own benefit. I don't care. But the man's fight is favoring the common man. The man's fight is favoring the common man. Eh? Wetin he no say no want, if they talk and come out. What have they not said about him? How many of your own elites in Nigeria can do what Elon Musk is doing? They never born their way because they are all government sugar babies. All of them, their money not pure. The ones where their money pure for Nigeria not reach 10. They not reach 10. I mean billionaires, so they not reach 10 for Nigeria when their money pure. They are very few. Most of these ones that you see, they have so much money. Oh, what impact are they having in their communities? What do they do? What changes are they bringing? How many people they make smile? Most of these billionaires, they wreck young people up and down. That's what they do. Eh? I beg you. It's easy to serve the people if you really want to. It's the people that will come out and fight for you. You won't need to do anything. Come election and they won't come, they beg you. Look at Traore. Traore went to Ghana, everywhere scatter. See the love. Away from his home, he's not in his Burkina Faso, but he traveled to Ghana. Look at the love that man is getting all over. Just like Peter Obi. There's no way Peter Obi goes to now that the people they love him. It's very hard because guess what? The way these people come into power, the way they make their money is not pure. So the people's love is far from them. And then on top of that, they are afraid of the people because they know there where they will reach. See, all these people, all these politicians who they do rubbish that are doing what they're doing. One mistake, just one mistake. They are human beings. They will make that mistake. They cannot afford it. They cannot avoid it. The day they make that mistake, that small window, forget it will be gone forever. Power is transient. You're not going to hold on to it forever. You're not going to live forever. So it is impossible for you to hold on to it forever. Eh? So this is my own spotlight for the evening, because I said I'm going to be spotlighting the women in the Senate that are working, right? I'm going to be spotlighting. I'm also going to spotlight Apc Kennedy because whether we like it or not, I think that woman was trying to do her work. She was really trying, you know. She was trying. You could see the effort was there. We know how Nigeria is. You know, if maybe don't go to the. Remember when they were saying marrying off young girls? I'm sure she touched some people that they were not happy about. Like they say, they promote her because they sense that she might be trouble for them. That's what happened. I'm thinking, I could be wrong, but I'm suspecting that's probably one of the reasons why she was removed. But my spotlight for today, women in politics in Nigeria. I'm using this to encourage women to step up. We need more women in Nigeria. The ego, the testosterone is too much. That's why they don't know what they are doing. It's all about lining pockets, stealing money. They don't even have like, okay, it's enough. No. that empathy, that nurturing spirit is not there. Well, most of these men, all they want to do is just, all they think about is spekus. Once they get money, and to go get girlfriend for different corners of the world, buy them houses. That's it. That's all they do. Women are more important in positions like this. As we should be having women governors. We should be having competition of women governors, women senators, women ministers. When they go to shake the house, women representatives, women local government chairwomen. I'm telling you, So I look to see more women in politics every corner, even in the corporate world, not the queen bees. Or when we say they go reach there, they go want to throw away the ladder so that other women cannot come up, because there's some women like that. I don't know. The competition, the jealousy, I don't understand. The bickering is there. They will now get there, they will now remove the ladder so that other women will not come up. Wicked women. Those kind of people, when you have the opportunity to have women in working as ministers or senators or whatever, you must make sure that they have people that they are mentoring. If they are not mentoring them, they are not good candidates. You look for a way to remove them, because you got to be able to leave something for somebody else to pick up and run. Especially in the corporate world in Nigeria, the queen bees are many. They don't want it. They don't like other women on top too. Like, no, they will discourage it. They will stand in your way because they don't want competition. There's a way to check all those types of characters, right? If those things are put in place in such a way, like if you are in a position of authority, as a man or as a woman, you should have people you're mentoring that can come after you, that can even do the job better than you. There shouldn't be any sort of fear that, oh, this person wants to take. Hello, you're not going to be there forever. Somebody else will be able to take over from you. Anyway, that one, Natasha going to be my spotlight for the evening. I want to appreciate her for all the work that she's doing for her people. We see her, we hear her, we love her, we're rooting for her. As a woman myself, I'm rooting for her. I can only imagine how tough it is to be running, to be a senator in Nigeria in this time with this set of people. I doff my heart for you, Natasha. You they try. They give them oversight funds. Yeah, they can't. Exactly. They did oversight fund. What do they go and use it to do? They'll be using it to do rubbish and nonsense. Buying cars. You know, see Dino Melaye. How many cars Dino Melaye get? Useless people. People know the truth and they see genuine people. And you can't buy love, even in marriage. Love is an thank you. Speak on it, Sid. Speak on it. Yes, you can't buy love. It's natural, it's organic. If you have a heart for something, people can see it. Even if they're hating on you, it's just only a matter of time. You will evolve to become the best. That's what people don't understand. If you have love in your heart, people can tell. Even when you're angry, when you're upset, people can still feel that love from you. Exactly. People can, they know exactly. They know the truth and they see genuine people. You hit it right on the nail. See, you're absolutely 100% correct on that. All people want to see is genuine and sincere love for the people. Nobody's, the funny thing, you can even chop money there's no way. I mean, even if you want that, okay, fine, trickles come to you. Because you're going to benefit, you're going to have some benefit when you're doing this type of work. But to do something for the people, for crying out loud, that they can remember you by. She was one of the performing ministers. Yeah, they decided to get rid of her. I'm suspecting they decided to get rid of her because of that minor thing from the north, where she was trying to, where they married up all those orphans, those people that lost their parents, when they married them off. She was trying to fight it. And there was another scenario that came up again too, with minor age, whatever. So I think that they felt like she's probably going to be trouble for them. They decided to cut her loose. Uju was trying, I know would lie. I cannot even lie about that. That woman was, I could see the fire in her. I really could. If that woman had more, if we had a structured system, right, that woman would have done more. Even what's her name, Better Edu, right? I understand that Better Edu, they said they fired before they investigated her, blah, blah, blah. But we have a lot of men in the Senate, in the reps, that have stolen millions. Look at Yaya Bello. Yaya Bello stole millions. But guess what? He only got a tap on the wrist. Better I do, they just cut her loose. She's young, she's upcoming. Even though I don't support what she did, but why not cut her off like that? What is wrong with that? Why not give her, maybe, and guess what? Maybe whoever told her to do that, it is the same set of people that probably encouraged her to do that. She probably did it on behalf of somebody. She was instructed to do it, then she got slapped for it. All of a sudden she just disappeared. I'm not supporting what she did though, but let's call a spade a spade. There are more men in that Senate, they shouldn't even be in the Senate. Look at Akpabio that was sexually harassing one woman. Akpabio, when we hear saying a randy man, what and all the money where don't thief, he still denied the Senate leader. All the men they don't thief money when they put that Senate and House of, what are they still doing there? Better I do, maybe in a person direction, if they do it, do not just come out. Because we not really want to give opportunities to young people, young women. And I'm not in support of the Better I do. I don't send her papa, I don't send her mama. But the truth has to be said. Nigerians don't ask for much. Give light, let me tell you. Provide electricity, provide good road, secure the place. Let people be able to go to farm. They don't care what you do. They don't care. Everybody will be busy about their lives. This is the most I've seen Nigerians engaged politically, and people are getting more and more politically conscious because of the mess in the country. People didn't used to care. As long as they can feed themselves, put their kids in school, provide food, take care of themselves. That's all. That's it. Very simple. No light, no good road, insecurity, no good hospital. Nothing they happen. The few investors that are coming, you are driving them by demolishing their properties. The same out here say, diaspora should come and invest. Where do they invest? They will invest in people who want to demolish it. Look at Chioma with the good hair. When I don't demolish her business. Look at Landmark. You people demolish it. People who don't work all their life, get retirement. You want me to carry and come country where no get laws, no structure. So that I go demolish everything when that person work for in life, everything will go. Meanwhile, now own go dey rise, go now they thief people money. I beg all that is needed in most local government area is not much. Exactly. It's not much. Schools, health provision, make sure there's security in your community, in your local government area. Secure the environment for people. Encourage businesses, encourage entrepreneurship. Give them little incentives so that they can thrive, so that people will be interested in coming to invest in your community. No, they won't do it. They will carry the money and thief. Meanwhile, those that will come from outside and want to invest, you will tell them bring money. They will bribe you first before you give them opportunity to invest. Is that not madness? Is that not madness? They fell into it. Yeah, she fell. Yeah, I feel the same way too. See, she fell into the trap they set for her. She really did. I don't know whether it's part of their what's it called? Part of the what's the word I'm looking for now? It's like a rite of passage for her. I don't know. I could be wrong. Like maybe it was intentional, and they planned it for her, and they say you have to go through this, blah blah blah. Maybe they're going to come around somewhere and just break, but still it doesn't make any sense. They did set a trap for her, and she fell right into it because she herself does not know how to keep her hand to herself. Maybe when they look for Natasha's skirt, I'm telling you, Exactly. No, that backlash, he deserved it. Akpabio is a useless. The guy is just, sorry, shameless. And that's somebody's grandfather. Hmm? That's somebody's grandfather. That's somebody's husband. Eh? That's somebody's father. These people just embarrassing their generation. Eh? Embarrassing their generation. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. They think they have it all. They think they're going to have it all forever. They don't know they are living the most vile, heritage for their children, unless they change their names. But me, I say, once we get the structure in place in Nigeria, they should be checking DNA, because we still have slave traders in that country. All the people that did slavery should not even have the opportunity to get close to the corridor of power. I'm sorry. Until that generation is cleansed for hundreds of years, then yes, I'm telling you, because these people, they're part of our problem. They are okay with the system remaining the way it is. Oh, by the way, do you guys hear that? You know what they do now? They will go thief children from north, bring them come east, come sell. All right? There was somebody from the east that shared this with me. I don't want to mention names. They'll go and steal children from the east, take them to the north. That's what they are doing. That is happening so much now. I don't know if that is on a high scale now. So that when they are looking for the children, they cannot trace them so far away, right? So they will give up. So they will steal children from the north, take them to the east to sell. Then steal children from the east, take them to the north to sell. It's happening, people. In case you're not aware, this is happening. Somebody shared that with me earlier on today. This is how bad Nigeria has gotten. So you can imagine the number of children that are being stolen up and down the place. And on top of that, they're selling people. They're selling people. In Libya, they will just come, people will come and lie, collect people's children, go and sell them in Libya. They go to different parts of Nigeria and be stealing people and selling. Allegedly. That's it for me tonight, though. I beg, I don't talk rich. I don't show the woman I fit show, do the one I fit do today. I go see you again, hopefully soon. Sid, my brother, thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate you. Amaka, thank you very much. Mr. Biboise, thank you. I don't know who was. Oh, Sonny was here earlier as well. Thank you all so much for joining. I appreciate you all. I beg, let's keep talking, let's keep fighting. Please don't give up. Only one country we get. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to see you guys on my next one. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the evening and take care, guys. Bye. If you have not yet please share, subscribe, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye.